This is no longer just a music stage. This is no longer just an ordinary interview. This is an affirmation, official recognition from the system itself. On December 21st, the line between K-pop idol and national cultural figure was blurred. Imagine the most trusted news program, the broadcast watched by the entire nation every evening, SBS 8 News. And who appeared in full formation there for the very first time? Not politicians, not legendary athletes, but stray kids. What could make the nation's primetime news open its doors to 8 young men? Was it just because they are popular? Incorrect. This is about something far greater. It is about an achievement considered impossible in their own homeland. It is about a leader whose voice trembled not from nervousness, but from profound gratitude, and about a word finally uttered on the national broadcast screen, Billboard. We will thoroughly unpack that historic moment, from every second of the interview that moved Stay to tears, to Bang Chan's humble attitude that only made fans prouder. From the weight of karma that turned into a crown, to the fact that, do it, they truly did it. This is the story of how 8 men from JYP ultimately conquered 2 worlds simultaneously. Get ready, because this story is extraordinary. Hello, Stay. Or perhaps, after that day, we should all call ourselves SBS 8 News viewers? Just kidding. But seriously, the atmosphere on the X and TikTok timelines on December 21st was different. It wasn't the usual wait for a teaser or dance practice. There was a vibration, an official one. There was a heartbeat mixed with pride, anticipation, and a feeling of, is this really happening? For a moment, consider the perspective of the general Korean public. They know Stray Kids is a successful K-pop group with energetic songs. Maybe they remember God's Menu or Thunderous. But on SBS 8 News, the stories covered are about the economy, politics, major social issues. Then suddenly, 8 men with star-quality visuals and aura are sitting neatly in the news studio. That's not Music Bank. That's not Knowing Bros. That is SBS 8 News, the real deal. The narration opening the news segment alone was shocking. The K-pop group writing new history on American music charts. Directly, no chit-chat, no small talk. The primary focus was global achievement. It was like an acknowledgment from the headquarters stating, hey, our kids here are no joke. They are raising the flag in the world's most competitive arena. For Stay, this moment was a catharsis. How long have we been shouting about their Billboard achievements? How many times have we explained the meaning of 8 consecutive albums debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200 to those who didn't understand? Well, now the explanation didn't come from us, not from a fanbase account, but from a national news reporter with a tone full of respect. It felt like our efforts were finally validated and acknowledged with an official stamp. I know, right? Now let's dissect what made SBS 8 News grant its primetime slot to Stray Kids. First, the undeniable fact. 8 consecutive #1 albums on the Billboard 200. Let's say it slowly. 8 consecutive albums. This isn't just success, it's pure dominance, a level of consistency even the Western music industry itself considers a rare phenomenon. And Stray Kids did it consecutively, without pause, like a marathoner continually breaking their own records. The albums Karma and SKZ Tape Do It are the latest proof. Amid the chaos of an incredibly packed world tour, they still released work that immediately debuted at the summit. That is called the power of content and incredibly solid fandom loyalty. But the most piercing moment in that interview came from the leader himself, Bang Chan. When asked about his feelings on achieving all this, his honest eyes reflected something deeper than mere happiness. It still feels like a dream, a simple sentence but heavy with meaning. This comes from someone we know sleeps in the studio, who leads 7 other members, who holds creative control. At the peak of success, what he feels is awe, not arrogance. That humble king vibe makes us want to keep supporting him endlessly. And he firmly redirected the spotlight. This is not the result of my work alone. This is thanks to the unity of the members and the unwavering support of Stay. Chan, we know you're the one saying that, but we also know your hard work and sleepless nights. But his message was clear. Stray Kids are a team, a family, and Stay is an inseparable part of that family. When they stood on SBS 8 News, they represented not just 8 individuals, but millions of Stay worldwide. Then the reporter highlighted how these albums were prepared amid a grueling world tour schedule. Can we just appreciate this? They flew across time zones, slept on buses or planes, yet their creative minds never stopped. They committed to continue creating their own music with full responsibility. This isn't just a comeback for chart success. This is the fulfillment of an artistic mission. They have something to say, and they will deliver it, no matter their physical condition. That is the Stray Kids code. And here is the proof that this is not a coincidence or mere fleeting hype. We are witnessing the golden era of Stray Kids with our own eyes. Do It remained in the top 10 of the Billboard 200 for 3 consecutive weeks. That means the album didn't just explode in the first week and then disappear. It has staying power, stable streaming power. Meanwhile, Karma has been on that chart for 16 weeks. 16 weeks, almost 4 months. That is a legendary achievement. That album is like a loyal companion that stays. Its tracks are still being streamed. Its impact is still felt. This dominance was then crowned with dual day-song wins at the 2025 Asia Artists Awards and the 2025 Mama Awards. A day song is not an ordinary award. It is the highest recognition from the industry, and they won it on 2 major stages. When they stood on the Mama stage holding that large trophy, the backdrop was their Billboard records and their SBS 8 News appearance. Everything converged. They are no longer the future group. They are the current group carving out history. And you know what's the coolest thing about all this? It aligns with critically important global values. Stray Kids' achievements reflect SDG Point 8, decent work and economic growth. They are a living example of young people working with high dedication, creating massive growth in the creative economy, from music production and merchandise to world tours that mobilize many sectors. Then SDG Point 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Stray Kids themselves are innovation. Their self-producing music system, 3 Racha, how they utilize technology to interact with Stay, and how they build a strong, positive fandom infrastructure. All of this is a blueprint for sustainable and innovative growth in the global music industry. They don't just follow trends, they create the system.
So, when SBS 8 News interviewed them, it wasn't just a story about pop music. It was news about Korean soft power, about phenomenally successful cultural exports, about an inspirational model of business and creativity. So, Stay, after that historic night of December 21st, how do we feel? Relieved? Proud? Or even more impatient for their next move? Stray Kids have crossed a very sacred milestone. They have been welcomed into the most hallowed space on national television, not merely as entertainment celebrities, but as a cultural achievement worthy of serious news coverage. The question now is, what will they conquer next? The Grammys? Larger world stadiums? Or perhaps musical innovations truly beyond prediction? One thing is clear. With a humble mindset like Bang Chan's, with the solid unity of the 8 members, and with Stay's rock-like support, nothing is impossible. They proved that dreams, when pursued with hard work, teamwork, and love, can become a reality that even surpasses imagination. They are the dreamers who do it. Now, it's your turn. Which part of the SBS 8 News interview made you applaud the most, or even cry? Was it Lee No's serious expression while listening, or Han's candid remarks? Comment below. In your opinion, after this national recognition, what is the next logical target for Stray Kids? Let's fill the comment section with your predictions and hopes. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you are proud of the kids. Let's get those likes higher than their Billboard chart numbers. Okay, maybe that's impossible, but let's try. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell because we will always update with every new piece of history Stray Kids writes. We must witness it together. Thank you for watching, Stay. Remember, wherever Stray Kids go, we are always behind them. You make Stray Kids stay. See you in the next discussion. Goodbye. Now, let us consider the broader implications of this landmark appearance. Stray Kids' feature on SBS 8 News transcends a simple celebrity news segment. It represents a pivotal moment of institutional validation within South Korean cultural landscape. For years, the Hallyu wave has been a significant source of national pride and economic growth. However, the recognition of its artists on platforms dedicated to hard news and national affairs marks an evolution. It signals that these artists are now being discussed not just as pop culture phenomena, but as serious contributors to the nation's global standing and economic infrastructure. This acknowledgement arrives at a time when the global music industry is more interconnected than ever. Stray Kids' consistent success on the Billboard charts is not an isolated event. It's a case study in the power of dedicated global fandom and strategic, authentic content creation. Their model, centered on self-production, a strong group identity, and direct engagement with their audience, has proven to be remarkably effective and sustainable. By highlighting this on a major news network, the narrative shifts. It moves from K-pop is popular to this specific approach within K-pop is a replicable and influential model for global success. This elevates the conversation around the entire industry. Furthermore, the group's emphasis on collective effort and gratitude offers a powerful counter-narrative to individualistic superstar culture. In an era often focused on solo branding, Stray Kids' unwavering message that their achievements belong to the entire team and their fans is both refreshing and strategically brilliant. It strengthens the bonds of their community, ensuring that Stay feels like active participants in this journey, rather than passive observers. This sense of shared ownership is likely a key driver behind their formidable stability of album sales and streaming numbers over long periods. Looking ahead, the question of what's next is more intriguing than ever. With such a foundational pillar of recognition now in place, the group is positioned to explore new creative and professional frontiers with even greater support. Will this lead to more diverse artistic collaborations, perhaps venturing deeper into different genres or mediums? Could it pave the way for roles as cultural ambassadors or advocates within initiatives related to the UN Sustainable Development Goals they inadvertently embody? The SBS 8 News feature has effectively broadened the permissible scope of their influence, granting them a new level of cultural capital to wield. Ultimately, December 21st was not an endpoint, but a new beginning. It was the day the establishment formally acknowledged a revolution that had already taken place in the charts and in the hearts of fans worldwide. For Stray Kids and Stay, it's a vindication of their shared path. For the industry, it's a benchmark. And for the global audience, it is a clear signal that this group's journey of breaking limits and setting records is a sustained movement, one that has earned its place in the most serious of headlines. The dream they speak of is now an undeniable reality, and its next chapter promises to be written on an even larger canvas.